Listening in space on a budget. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be talking about Soundpeats' new budget noise cancelling headphone. This is the Soundpeats Space and it retails at about $90 at the website, but I've seen it go down to about 75 Australian dollars with a 15% discount, which brings it down to about 65 Australian dollars. Either way, the point is it's coming in at a budget price, so it'll be interesting to see how it compares with other budget headphones. But before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank Soundpeats for sending this unit in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. If you've been enjoying my content, it would be greatly appreciated if you could drop a like to the video and subscribe for more content in the future. Now, let's talk unboxing, which is sadly underwhelming. The box itself is like a plus-size version of other Soundpeats TWS, opening that immediately reveals the headphones themselves. Taking that and the foam supporting it will reveal another box underneath, which holds two provided cables, a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and a 3.5 to 3.5mm cable. I wish it came with a carrying case for headphone protection, but I guess with this asking price, it helps you with having a bit of funds to get some cheap headphone carrying case from Amazon. For the design of the headphones themselves is made out of plastic to make it lightweight, and this headphone can take a bit of beating, which is a small comfort for those who's a little rough with their gears. You can also fold it if you want to shove it in a pouch. The headband has a bit of foam at the bottom and fabric at the top, though I wish there's a bit more support to the foam, but the weight of this headphone helps with that as well, coming in at 264 grams, which is lighter than the Sennheiser Momentum 4, which I thought was pretty lightweight already, by 26 grams. The ear cups has that plushy feel to it, almost similar to the Sennheiser ear pads, and it has the left and right letters in the ear cups themselves, which honestly I wish was in every headphone, because this makes it so much easier to read rather than finding that small letter somewhere in the headband. There's a Soundpeats logo at the faceplate, leaning towards the bottom right of the ear cups in like a rose gold hue. The headphone has the wording "Hear Your Imagination," which is fine, but I feel without this code would have made the headphone look cleaner. Sometimes less is more. If we could have had that rose gold hue on the headband and the ear cups, it'll elevate the looks of this headphone, but it's good enough for what it is now, especially for its asking price. Moving towards the buttons on this headphone, on the left cup, you have the USB-C charging cable and you have a dedicated ANC button, which is very convenient if you're constantly switching between transparency modes for different occasions. On the right cup, you have the 3.5mm jack, the volume button and power button. Pressing and holding the volume button will toggle between next or previous track. Pressing the power button once will have the typical pause and play function. Holding the power button for 1.5 seconds will end call. Pressing 2 times will bring up Google Assistant, and pressing 3 times toggles game mode. It has the usual features you get from their TWS counterparts: Bluetooth 5.3, game mode, dual device connections. It also has high-res audio certification, but here's the catch: only with the inner cable, so you have to connect this to get that higher resolution for its sound, unlike the TWS, which has high-res audio certification without requiring any cable connections. Not the biggest deal breaker for a headphone at this price, but of course it'll be nice to have. We'll explore the sound later. Before we talk about their biggest feature, let's explore some nitpicks first. There is no auto turn off or auto pause if you take the headphones from your head, so you have to press the button if you want to power it off, but with its battery life, which we'll talk about soon, you need not worry about this. Another thing to note is that the power button takes a while to turn on or off. It's almost like trying to turn the Bluetooth pairing mode time length for the headphones to power off. It's not so much of a gripe, but if you're rushing for time and just want to power off the headphones in seconds, it definitely feels much longer than a lot of other headphones out there. Now that's all out of the way, let's talk about the biggest feature of this headphone: the battery life. They are claiming 128 hours of battery life, but it's actually about 60 hours with ANC on. But even with that, there's enough battery life to shame all their competitors. To put things into perspective, even with having ANC on, if you're using the Soundpeats Space for about 8 hours a day, that's 7.5 days of use. Double that without ANC. 10 minutes of charging apparently gives you 12 hours of usage. Needless to say, if you're all about wanting battery life, the Soundpeats Space is the champion, hands down. For the app, if you've seen my Capsule 3 Pro video, the app has pretty much the same experience with adaptive EQ, toggling between transparency mode, game mode, dual device connection, and of course, most importantly, EQ settings. They have 9 different EQ presets, but you can customize your own with their 10-band EQ settings. For fit and comfort, bringing back Manny for reference, due to how lightweight this headphone is, I don't feel much pressure at the top of my head when wearing this, and for the size of my ears, the ear cups wraps around it, and I can imagine it covering around most ears. However, from my personal experience, it's not giving the best seal, which affects the sound experience for me personally, and I feel I had to press it to my head more as they sound a little distant. Now let's talk about sound and just managing expectations. This is a budget headphone, so if you're expecting the Soundpeats Space to be your wireless focal clears, you'll be sorely disappointed. The sound is decent for its price. At a classic setting using it on wireless, I'm not sure if it's because I'm not getting the right seal with these ear cups, but the bass sounds a little weak for my taste personally. There's not much rumble coming in from the deep end, the bass doesn't hit hard, you can hear it but it's really flat. Treble is rolled off and the trumpets sound quite distant and veiled, but at least it won't be harsh for treble sensitive people. You can hear the singer in the middle, but there's not a lot of weight to the notes. The term space seems to apply to the sound profile, as there's a bit of distance between the sounds, but they all appear soft, so details in the track is a little blurry. You can hear around on the left and right channel and it gives you an illusion of a wide sounding presentation, but there's not much depth to it. It's a good thing you can tweak it a little from the EQ setting, which I personally feel is required to bring some of the things that are missing from the notes. So for my personal taste, I brought up the bass and treble presentation while pushing the vocals forward just a touch, and the changes to the sound is enough to make the headphones sound better, but of course, it's still behind from its competitors at higher price. To sum it all up, you'd have to decide what you're looking for in a headphone. If you're looking for a headphone that can outlast all your other wireless headphones while still being affordable, and also still have all the essential features you'd need from a noise cancelling headphone, the Soundpeats Space delivers that. And personally, having button controls just makes the experience much easier compared to touch controls. But if you're looking for sound performance, then there are many other options to consider. But for the price on the Soundpeats Space, I don't see how any other budget headphones are able to compete. That sums up my experience with the Soundpeats Space, and I'm curious to know your experience. Let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you to Soundpeats and to all of you for watching. Until the next experience, take care and happy listening.